yes, they're praising you that you are addressing the question and you're answering the question, but what about being more elaborative,
Oh,
after that? Like what more can you say about either this or a follow-up statement or a follow-up question or something more
yeah.
other than what the specific thing that's being asked of
Hey,
you?
Randall. So, uh, to this point, it's a good point that Tyrone is making, and I'm gathering that he's speaking on behalf of the chat that I can't see, and I'm glad. So, Randall knows in the gentleman's lounge, I was the most wordy on camera with the ladies on my dates. I was very open, very wordy. I believe in healthy conversations being ones that really don't have questions, but everything you want to know about one another comes out because the conversation is stimulating, is robust. And so my heart was always pouring out, Tyrone. My experience was always pouring out. The conversations at the white party with me and Sharice, that was a long conversation. They pinpointed the word struggle when we were just talking about, Michelle Obama being a overachiever as a young attorney, not really being respected because she was a black woman amongst a whole lot of white men. And I was just looking at Sharice in a very similar light, being a black woman as an entrepreneur in an area that didn't really have black women entrepreneurs and coming up. And there are challenges with that. So there's comparatives. So that was her struggle. It had nothing to do with finances, which the audience latched onto. So there was a lot of openness where I shared about me related to her, brought in figures that we looked up to as our heroes and sheroes in life. And I brought in my mother and how we picked up cans. And I brought in my father and how when he came to this country from India, being a Persian descent, how he was, looked at as less than just because he married a black woman or just because his accent was different. There was vulnerability. Like the entire season, again, the cast and the crew said Samson's heart is out there, revealing everything. I put everything out there. And so to hear it spun, the most open guy, from what I'm hearing from cast and crew, turns into the one that's not open.
Man, I got one more good one.
Yeah.
I got one more good one. That last date. Um, so I don't know if you saw or if you knew, but it seemed to us that Sharice still had the opportunity to decide, whether you were ready to love or not based on how the date went,
Yeah.
right? At what point did you feel either the date was going, to the left and you were just like bump it, or were you just
You
still
want some
like, hey,
tea? You want some
no,
tea?
like I'm watching you and I'm listening to what you're saying, and you're basically saying, hey, like I'm here. I'm not running, right? I'm here.
Yeah.
And I hear you,
Yeah.
but it just seemed like there was a disconnect between how you were responding and what she was saying.
Okay, so I want y'all to pay very close. Sabrina, can you pull up that clip?
I wouldn't be able to show it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, check this
Yeah.
out. Check this out.
Mm.
Tyrone, I'm glad you brought it up, man. When I saw that scene, I was just like, gosh. So I was supposed to pick up my brother that day because the next in 2 days after that scene, it was meet my family, right? My brother flew in town from Austin, Texas. And so um, I was excited about that. The call after their ladies' lounge came in so late. You know what I was doing? Swimming in my pool before I went to pick up my brother at the airport. So when I'm swimming, you know what I do? I turn off my ringer and I'm listening to music as I'm swimming. Speakers on, it's chill, it's beautiful out there. And I know that my brother's gonna be flying I'm picking him up in about 45 minutes. I get out the pool, I drop, I see all these missed messages. I'm just like, I know they're not trying to call me to come do a date at this late hour. It was late. That date was late. So sure enough, finally respond, pick up the phone, call Cerise. I'm like, okay, on my way, color producers, my bad. I was taking the dip. My brother's coming in. I was like, don't worry. We're going to send an Uber to pick him up. I was like, no, hell no. That's my brother. I want to pick him up. And I said, y'all just hold on. It's like, Sam, we got everybody here. You know, Sharice is having drinks. She's frustrated. She hadn't been able. I was like, well, this is poor planning on y'all's part. The plan was for me to pick up my brother. You know, y'all knew this. Y'all flew him in. So I was perturbed with production. I was perturbed with crew. And it is what it is. I tried to make the most out of it. I left messages on my brother's phone, obviously, because he's still in the air. Uber went to pick him up per production. I'm on my way to Miami. I live in Pembroke Pines, which is 45 to 50 minutes away to get all the way down to Miami where this dinner was. And finally find parking, pull up, and I walk in, and you'll see the scene when I walk in. There's food on the table as if I've already ordered. Now here's the tea. Here's this. I don't know if y'all did not find this is tea, but because I ain't talking about another person. But there's food on the table. I ordered that food, but it shows me as if I'm walking up, and I didn't order that food. As if the food was waiting on me, like Sharice ordered it. So I want y'all to understand this. There's a whole scene prior to what y'all saw. It was about 30 minutes long, possibly, before I even came back and sat down. So I ordered my food, table empty, Sharice having drinks. She was already buzzing because she was waiting on me for 2 hours. So she admitted she was already kind of amped.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there trying to remain calm. We've seen how Sharice can get, you know, and I've been the one that's been able to temper her emotions throughout this season. She always said to me, Sam, you're the calm in my storm. And I've been able to juggle some of those emotions for her and help her stay calm. But she was ready. Here's the tea. On the way to that meeting, I get a call from one of the ladies that was in that lounge. And they said, Sam, just want to let you know they're lying on you. And I said, about what? I can't say what. Just want you to know that you're stepping into some hot water and it's based on some lies. And I said, well, if you can't tell me more about that, then what can I do with this information? And she just said, just be careful. Just want you to know that we know who you are and you're expect to get grilled because you're about to get barbecued. So on my way in, I kind of knew that it was just my time. So I went in just cool. The reason why the scene shows me stepping back to the table with food on the table, because I stepped away from the table because the emotions were so high. I said, hey, Sharice, I'll be right back. I left to the bathroom. Who runs in after me? Not Sharice, producer. Samson, please don't leave. Please don't leave. I'm like, listen, I told her father just 2 days ago. He asked me, Sam, what do you do if my daughter gets challenging and you have tough times? I said, well, what I'll do is I'll probably get up if I'm in a relationship with her. I'll walk around the block, give her a chance to blow off some steam, and I'll come back. All right. So I did just that at the dinner. I noticed that the calmness wasn't happening. I walked away. Producer said, come back. I came back. And the first thing I say to her is this seat taken? I said, I want to start off fresh. I said, is this seat taken? She's like, yeah. So I sat down and I said, Tyrone, hey, if there were 3 things you could change about me and my delivery, what would they be? I gave her a chance to calm down and just talk to me. She wasn't really trying to listen to it. And I said, now, do you want me to talk to you calm or do you want me to match your energy? Because if that's how you want to communicate tonight, I can match your energy, you know, but I'd rather remain about us. I don't want to talk about girls. I just want to talk about guys. I don't want to talk about, you know, the girls, and you don't want me to talk about guys. But if you want to talk about girls, I'll talk about guys. Or we could just talk about us. So tell me what you like, what you don't like, and let's work on it. I said, I'm not walking away from this. Y'all heard me say it. I'm not walking away. So it just kept on going up, up, up. I was like, okay, so if this is how you want it to end, this is how it will end. And
So,
that's my tea.
all right. So a couple things, like it felt awkward even when you walked up and asked, is the seat taken? Right? Because it's kind of like you guys are connected. You just had a whole weekend together. It just came off awkward, honestly. The other thing was, like you was talking about the energy, and I feel like from what we were seeing, there wasn't any point. I mean, there wasn't a point to where she gave an indication that you all didn't have a chance to work it out, right? Until she said there's not going to be any of us. But it felt like it was in response to what you were saying. But it also felt like you just heard it wrong. And it just seemed like maybe before then, maybe we missed something. At some point, it looked like you lost your cool, right? And that was one of the big things that I was focusing on. The fact that you had lost your cool. And then even afterwards, after the date, where you had the one-on-one, it's just you and the camera, it still seemed like you lost your, like there was something there. And
Yeah,
then in the
I
confessionals,
can admit it. You're right, man.
it was still there in the confessional. So we're anxious. I know I'm anxious to see at the reunion how you come off at the reunion, you know, per this particular situation.